What's up everyone? Welcome back to the channel. I've been playing Battlefield 6 a lot, and I've been having a genuinely good time. The explosions are big, the guns feel chunky, and there are moments of pure, beautiful chaos that only Battlefield can deliver. But the whole time, there's been this little voice in the back of my head. A voice that sounds suspiciously like, and it keeps whispering, yeah, this feels familiar. A little too familiar. So today, we're not just reviewing a game. We're staging an intervention. We're diving deep into the question, is Battlefield 6 having a full-blown identity crisis, and is it trying a little too hard to be like its popular rival Call of Duty? This is a safe space. Let's begin. Let's start with the most immediate, the pace of the game. This boils down to two things, time to kill and movement. First, the TTK. In classic Battlefield games, a gunfight felt like a dramatic exchange. You'd see an enemy, you'd both open fire. You might dive behind a crate, pop a smoke grenade, your screen would be blurry, you'd hear bullets whizzing past. It was an event. It had a rhythm, a weight to it. In Battlefield 6, the rhythm has been replaced with a record scratch. The conversation is over before it starts. It's less hello, and more you died. Players are reporting what they call one-frame deaths, which is game after I spawned. I saw a pixel, and I was instantly teleported back to the deploy screen to think about my life choices. Now, why would they do this? Well, the developers have said this faster TTK is necessary to keep up with the changes on the battlefield, and you have to admire the logic. It's a brilliant self-fulfilling prophecy. The battlefield is faster now, so we made you die faster to keep up with the faster battlefield that we made faster. It's like a dog chasing its own tail, but with more explosions. Which brings us to the second part, the movement. Oh, the movement. We've got slides that would make a baseball player proud. We've got sprint crouching that makes you a harder target to hit. We've got a flick look button that lets you snap a 180 faster than a celebrity apologizing for a bad tweet. It's fluid. It's fast. It makes you feel like a hyper-caffeinated parkour expert who's late for a very important meeting. But let's be real, it also makes the game feel less like you're a soldier in a war, and more like you're a caffeinated squirrel in a war. It's a specific vibe. A fun vibe. But is it a Battlefield vibe? Battlefield's brand for decades has been all-out warfare. Say that phrase out loud. What do you see? I see 64 players on a massive map. I see tanks rolling through fields, jets screaming overhead, a transport helicopter full of your squad mates about to crash into a building, and that one lone sniper on a hill who's been there since the match started and has a KD ratio of 2 after 45 minutes. It was messy, chaotic, and glorious. You weren't just a soldier, you were a cog in a massive, beautiful, exploding machine. But in the push for more constant adrenaline-pumping action, some of these new maps feel a little cozier, a little more intimate. We're getting more close quarters, infantry-focused lanes, and three-lane style designs. It's less all-out warfare and more all-out in the specific corridor. Please watch your step. The scale was the identity. When you shrink the playground, speed everyone up, and funnel them into choke points, it starts to feel less like a grand battle and more like a very expensive, very loud game of hallway tag. One Reddit user put it perfectly. They said, now, there's this constant push to turn every FPS into some movement shooter. But that's not Battlefield, and it shouldn't be. And you know what? They have a point. It feels like the franchise is having a panic attack, looking at the popular kids at the party and frantically trying to dress like them, instead of just being its own uniquely cool self. Now, let's talk about something a bit more subtle, the feel, the sensory experience. Old Battlefield games felt gritty. The audio was overwhelming in a realistic way. The screen shook when a tank rolled past. The UI was a bit clunky, but it was functional. It felt like you were in a war. Battlefield 6 feels slick, polished, gamified. The user interface is packed with flashing icons, XP pop-ups, and challenge notifications. It sometimes feels like a free-to-play mobile game that's desperately trying to show you how much stuff you're accomplishing. Headshot, plus 50 XP, ribbon unlocked. Battle Pass progress, your skin leveled up. It's sensory overload. And the audio, don't get me wrong, the sound design is technically brilliant, but it's almost too clean. Every gunshot is a perfect bassy thump. Every explosion is a cinematic masterpiece. In older games, the audio chaos added to the realism. In this one, it sometimes feels like you're in a Michael Bay movie that's being directed by a UX designer. It's lost a bit of that raw, chaotic. This is actually terrible and scary feeling that made the franchise stand out. It's traded some of its gritty soul for a polished, arcadey sheen, and for a game series built on creating believable war zones. That's a significant and kind of sad shift. Now, let's talk about the elephant in the room, wearing a neon pink ghillie suit, the business model. Because nothing says authentic military simulation like a $20 neon pink weapon skin that glows in the dark, right? Battlefield 6 launched with a fully stocked premium store, packed with what many players are calling overpriced skin bundles. It's starting to feel a bit like a Call of Duty and Fortnite skin clone, and it's a little jarring when you just dropped $70 on the game. Seeing a squad of soldiers dressed like they're at a raider convention does break the immersion, just a tad. But the real kicker, the masterstroke of this identity crisis, is the free-to-play battle royale Battlefield RedSec. And look, RedSec is fun. It's a solid mode. But here's the rub. Players who bought the full $70 game are finding that a significant chunk of the seasonal Battle Pass progression is tied to the free game. Let me rephrase that. You pay a premium price for the premium product, but to get the most out of the live service content you paid for, you are incentivized to go play the free spin-off. It's a bit like buying a 5-star meal at a fancy restaurant and then being told the best desserts are only available next door at the all-you-can-eat buffet. It makes you feel like the premium product you paid for is sometimes playing second fiddle to the free-to-play ecosystem. And that, my friends, is a very modern, very corporate problem to have. Now, after all that, let me be completely fair. Is Battlefield 6 a bad game? Absolutely not. In fact, it's one of the most fun, technically impressive shooters on the market right now. The destruction is better than ever. When those classic Battlefield moments happen, a skyscraper collapsing on a full squad, a desperate last stand on an objective as your teammates are being picked off one by one, it's pure, uncut gaming magic. It's why we fell in love with the series in the first place. And here's a fascinating counter-argument. One reviewer pointed out that while BF6 is different from old Battlefield, it might feel less like Call of Duty and more like a spiritual successor to DICE's own Medal of Honor. Warfighter, a game that was always the middle child, stuck between KOD's arcade action and Battlefield's large-scale warfare. So maybe it's not becoming Call of Duty. Maybe it's just remembering a different, more forgotten part of its own family tree. The core DNA of Battlefield, the class roles, the vehicle combat, the world-altering destruction, is still there. It's just wearing faster shoes, checking its phone every 2 minutes, and has a weird obsession with flashy cosmetics. So, what's the final verdict? Is Battlefield 6 having an identity crisis? Yeah, a little bit. It's a game caught between its past and its future, between what it was and what the market wants it to be. It's a fantastic shooter that's still finding its feet. The question is, when it does, will we still recognize it as the Battlefield we knew? But I want to hear from one of you. This is the most passionate community in gaming, and I know you have opinions. Team Old School? Let me know what you miss most about the classic Battlefield feel. Was it the slower pace? The massive, open maps? Team New School? Tell me why the faster pace and slick presentation is the best thing to ever happen to the franchise. Defend your position. Let's keep it civil, but let's hear it. The debate is half the fun. If you enjoyed this little therapy session for a multi-billion-dollar video game franchise, do the channel a huge favor and hit that like and subscribe button. It really helps us out more than you know. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.